Something strange is happening with the shark population around Sealab, which is to say, suddenly there is a shark population around Sealab.
Look at how our parrotfish grinds up that coral for food.
That's what I call hungry.
Look out! Shark!
He's coming back!
I'll push him off.
And they're unusually aggressive. Sharks aren't naturally aggressive toward humans. They're naturally curious and hungry. Some are also territorial. If a shark is attacking, he either mistook you for food or you've upset him somehow. Although in this case, it could have been going after the parrotfish and the humans were just in the way. The thing about bopping them on the nose to make them go away is a semi-myth because it depends on the kind of shark. Now, if you see a big hungry shark coming at you and you have nothing else, you may as well try it. And anything else you can think of. Back at Sealab, this is getting to be a problem.
5 shark incidents in one day. That's more than I've logged in a month. What's happening, Paul?
It's hard to figure sharks.
Dr. Williams? Wally and Bobby were just chased out of the kelp by sharks. They're all right, though.
Add another incident to your log, Mike.
I'll do better than that. I'm issuing shark guns to all divers until these incidents stop.
He most likely means spear guns. The problem with a spear gun is you get one shot. If you shoot at a shark and miss, don't.
Mike, relax. We've got to learn to live with the sharks. It's their world, too.
It may be their world, Paul, but I'm not going to let any of our people get hurt.
Paul is wrong. It isn't their world, too. It's their world, period. We're not designed to be down there, as evidenced by all that junk that's keeping these guys alive. It's not our world. We're visitors. Humans like to forget that and be invaders instead, conquering and plundering for food, natural resources, what have you. And every so often, the denizens that actually live there have to give us a little reminder, like right now. That means if Mike doesn't want anybody to get hurt, they need to start living by those guys' rules and stop trying to force their human rules onto fish. This is why most any diver you meet is a conservationist of some kind. We understand that we are the weirdos down there, and quite often they get as curious about us as we are about them. And that's okay, fair is fair. We don't mind being their test tube subjects. They do have a hard time writing down their observations, though.
Deep diver to Sealab.
Come in, deep diver.
We're on the surface and standing by the survey vessel.
Is Dr. Alonzo aboard?
Yes, sir.
But he's signaling he doesn't need us. He's coming down.
He's making a 120-foot free dive.
No, he isn't. Free diving means without scuba gear. And 120 feet isn't that deep. Recreational divers are allowed to go to 130 feet. I've never been down that deep, but I could if I wanted to. I don't know why I'd want to, but I could if I wanted to. I don't want to. The reality is there's nothing much to see that deep. But did I mention that I could if I wanted to? Dr. Alonzo is the local shark expert. He has a few ideas for getting these critters to move along to greener pastures. He's dead set against killing them. I'm with him on that.
Hi, kids.
That was fantastic, Dr. Alonzo. What's in the container?
I brought you something I thought you'd all like.
Oh, boy, a surprise.
A canary!
Wow, a real canary in Sealab. Will he be all right down here?
No reason he shouldn't. Good air, good food, and good friends.
Bobby is instantly smitten with hero worship. He thinks Dr. Alonzo is just about it. Outside, the shark problem is getting worse. The idea of having Dr. Alonzo here is to find out why, and more important, what to do about it. They have individual shark cages so he can go out and study them a little.
Blues, lemons, white tips, a few nurse sharks, and the usual bottom feeders. All locals and not usually dangerous.
Nurse sharks are bottom feeders for the most part. They just tend to be several times bigger than the other guys. One of their favorite things to do is lie motionless on the bottom and wait for a stingray to come along. One quick motion and lunchtime! There's also one great white shark, and he's going to be the main problem. Most people didn't know a lot about great white sharks because Jaws wouldn't come out until 1977, 5 years later. Until then, we had to learn about them the old-fashioned way, read.
Power switch on, Dr. Alonzo.
Just a trickle current, not enough to really shock.
But enough to discourage a shark?
It's worked before, they'll stay away.
So far, it's holding them out.
Now you can work around Sealab till we start the next phase of my plan.
I'm not sure how much we knew in 1972, but today we know that sharks can detect and analyze electric currents in the water. They should know this one is an ouch.
That stopped him cold.
Not quite. Oh no, a breakthrough.
But as we know, there's a masochist in every crowd. He has a definite purpose in mind. He's pursuing his favorite food.
Change course there, big fellow.
He saved Simba. Boy, can he handle sharks.
Since seals are a favorite food for many kinds of sharks, what's he doing out there parading around like today's steak special in the first place? Dr. Alonzo's next idea, big nets to capture the sharks and relocate them.
And they won't come back?
Not if we keep discouraging them.
So that means we'll have to do this how many more times before they get the hint?
Well, how about that one? Think you're going to discourage him?
Uh-oh, a great white mixed in the catch.
Have any more ideas, Doctor?
For a shark specialist, he sure isn't paying much attention to the special needs of that great white. His next idea, have the surface ship capture a pod of dolphins and drop them here. I've mentioned before that sharks are afraid of dolphins. In a move that I frankly consider unusual for this show, Dr. Alonzo is going to explain why.
Dolphins can outturn and outswim any shark. They use their noses like battering rams.
Use your imagination. This is what I had to work with. Your shark is a linear guy. He goes more or less in a straight line chasing his prey. Turning isn't his strong suit. A dolphin can turn on a dime. So when the shark goes rawr at the dolphin like this, that old dolphin is going bam, 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 all over the shark, breaking ribs, rupturing internal organs. If the pod doesn't kill it outright, it ends up limping off somewhere to die. Your average shark in the ocean knows that, and they stay away from these dolphin street gangs.
Still banking on your food chain theory, Hal?
I'm almost sure now. This last sample showed a high plankton count, and the water temperature started to climb. That means something's going to happen.
He's right, Gale. Everything points to a sudden burst of life.
But what kind?
Something that attracts sharks. What else?
Such as what? What is a shark likely to consider most important in life?
They're ignoring each other.
What's going on?
Well, I'd call it coexistence. Sort of a treaty. Like they're both waiting for something better than fighting.
Send someone out in a cage and see what the dolphins do if the sharks attack. That's what I would do, but they're just giving up on the idea. Dr. Alonzo has one more thing he can try.
What's he doing? He told me he's making a secret chemical shark repellent.
They never work, do they?
His will. Bet it won't work.
You'll lose your bet, young man. Come in here, you three.
His repellent has something in it I hadn't heard of using before, the smell of decaying shark flesh. He figures if a shark detects a dead shark, it's possible he'll go away rather than risk becoming one himself.
I'll test the repellent myself.
Are you going out with the sharks again, Dr. Alonzo?
They're my friends. They won't hurt me.
For an expert, he doesn't know that much about shark behavior. They have no friends. If you feed them regularly, they tolerate you. That's how I was able to swim with sharks in Honduras. but you are not their friend. At best, you're a kind annoyance. But get too annoying and you'll become a target. Doesn't matter how long they might have known you, if such a thing is even possible, you are a means to an end, nothing more. Dr. Alonzo really thinks these things have some kind of emotional connection with him.
It's about Dr. Alonzo.
He's making a shark repellent.
And they never work.
He's gonna test it himself.
And Dr. Williams, he's acting kind of strange. Well, like he kind of identifies with those sharks.
Thanks, Sally. Kids, why don't you go down to the moon pool and help unload Deep Diver? She should be docking soon.
He's gently saying, I'll take care of it, but you don't need to see it. Find something more innocuous to do.
Let me try.
You have tried. I think it's time we start you back up.
Not before my last test is completed.
Those kids are hanging on everything he says and does, especially Bobby, Captain Murphy's grandson. Dr. Alonzo is going to teach them that defying orders is okay if you're sure you're right.
It's too dangerous, Dr. Alonzo. Please don't.
I've got to drive the sharks away.
You're not supposed to dive alone.
I've got a job to do, Bobby.
Sally, tell Dr. Williams what happened. And hurry.
He's sending them because he's going to grab a cage and go be Alonzo's dive buddy, like it or not.
Deep Diver, head 043, emergency. Get Alonzo and Bobby back before they become shark bait.
Full power, Ed.
What's Bobby doing out now?
He certainly knows better.
Well, let's get there fast.
He's being a good diver, that's what he's doing. He's refusing to let Alonzo dive solo.
Hello there. Hey, that's strange. He went for me.
Because you touched him, idiot. They don't like it when you do that without asking permission. If you wouldn't walk up to a random human and do that, don't do it to a random shark. I have an overwhelming urge to add a duh, but I won't.
I wonder if... What? What are you doing here?
I couldn't let you dive alone.
Bobby, you shouldn't have followed me.
Get in the cage. Please, Dr. Alonzo.
I'm all right.
Not for long if that guy gets upset with you.
Please get in the cage.
Look at that. It's working. They're going away.
That great white doesn't look like he's going away. Dr. Alonzo, in here, quickly.
The deep diver gang have spotted them. They know the cage won't stop that great white if it decides to attack, and Alonzo's potion isn't strong enough to chase it away. The expert's next move is to deliberately provoke it into attacking. I want to see this guy's credentials because I have a feeling he created them on an Etch-a-Sketch.
What can we do, Hal?
He's coming back.
Hold on.
Careful, Hal.
And now for a nice big goof.
Ed, lock out and bring them in. Don't take time to put on a lung.
Remember he said that.
Watch for the shark, Gale, while I maneuver closer.
He's coming back again.
Remember what Hal said? Yet he's wearing one. I have a feeling this is reused footage and nobody was paying attention. I know, it's a cartoon for kids. But it's my job to point out things like that and laugh at them. Back at Sealab, Captain Murphy wants a few words with Dr. Alonzo and Bobby. We'll never know what they were.
What's that? Over here.
Look at them.
Squid. Millions of them rising up from the bottom.
It's your food chain starting, Hal.
That's why the sharks are here. They knew the squid were coming.
They've learned a lot in 150 million years.
They can teach us a few things, I guess.
Yes. Even the experts.
A squid hatches a smorgasbord for sharks and other predators. They knew it was about to happen and were waiting for the goodies to appear. Likewise, the dolphins. Once they've done their work, they'll all move on. That just proves what I say a lot. The most interesting question in the universe is why? Find the motivation and you find the solution. Or in this case, it finds you. Whichever, all they needed to do was wait it out. This episode was boring. Once again, nothing happened. It's 85% padding with meaningless conversations that go nowhere. And in the end, the conflict resolved itself because there was no genuine conflict. There was nature in action, observed by humans too full of themselves and their own ha-ha expertise to pay attention to what nature was doing. I do not know what the point was unless it had something to do with sharks being mysterious. No caca, Sherlocka! Instead of standing around talking about it, make the characters, the sharks, and everything else do something. Show me a genuine great white shark attack on one of the cages. It's like we brought the sharks in and started going, gonna get you, gonna get you, gonna get you, psych! I think part of the problem is, so far the show doesn't really have a goal in mind. We haven't found something that we're working toward, a reason for them to be there beyond, let's look at stuff. Everybody's just there, and I think most of the time we're supposed to be doing character studies, but today we learned more about the sharks than we did about any of the people. That forces me to end on a message for the writers. Usually, he thinks these kind. Why do I do this to myself? Ship catcher, cat. Wow, that word does not want to come out.